What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Black Man Unfiltered Network. Get your popcorn ready. Ladies, get your glass of wine together right now. Sip it, because we're about to take you on an emotional journey that you've never been on in your life. You're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to be mad, you're going to be happy, you're going to agree, you're going to disagree, and that's what Black Man Unfiltered is about. We want all of you to have a voice, and this is the place where voices are heard. So thank you guys, because we're going to have the conversations that nobody else wants to have, and we're going to come to a medium, we're going to come to solutions, or we're going to agree to disagree, but you're in the right place to do it. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I want to introduce you guys to all the shows that's on the network coming up on this next slide. Peace!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Unapologetic with Mandrell and then there's Shoo. Okay, let's get that right. I am the firstborn.
Oh Lord, here we go.
I am the eldest. All right.
Oh Lord.
And you all will show the proper respect and decorum. Okay. I hope you guys like the new intro. That was a very pleasant surprise. I didn't. Yeah, I had not seen that yet. Had you? No. Yeah, my first time seeing it as well. Well, yeah. Welcome to another episode of Unapologetic. I'm gonna just call it Unapologetic now because my dear sister has now joined me as permanent co-host.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually happy about that and excited.
All right.
Yeah, how you been doing?
I've been doing pretty good.
Had a good day.
And at least I get to see you every week now.
You're right. Instead of talking on the phone all the time. What's that about?
Listen, life. That's the way life is set up.
It is, isn't it? All right. You know how we do it. First, let's dive into the sanctuary and thank the congregation for attending another sermon. Hopefully you'll learn some things, people. That's what I try to do. I try to learn you.
Try to learn you?
I try to learn them. But you know how people are. People are fickle. They don't want to learn.
Right.
Well, some people do. The people who show up for this show, for my show, they like it. They like to learn. You know, they're educated already and they look for more. First of all, I would love to thank the number one, in my opinion, the number one moderator in all of YouTube, the beautiful and fantastic Jenny Morena. Thank you for coming out, Jenny. Thank you for being here. Thank you for moderating my show. Thank you for supporting my show. Much gratitude. You have no idea how much I appreciate you, as well as everyone else in here. We got Corey Hager. Thank you for coming. Stephen Daly, on time, every week. Each week, Stephen Daly. Thank you very much for coming out. We got a guy with a name. Who?
I was about to say, hey, Devon.
Vaughn Bryant?
Yeah. And look, Jenny said it's okay, Mandrell, to say our show. It's okay.
Whatever. Anyway, don't speak to Vaughn. We're not speaking to him today.
What?
Yeah, we're not speaking to Vaughn today.
Oh, God.
Vaughn is violated.
Oh, Lord. I love Vaughn. Thank you, Vaughn, because he's a moderator too. So, yes, we will speak to Vaughn.
Okay, we're speaking to Vaughn today?
Yeah.
Greetings, joy, and peace, and prosperity. I love Vaughn, man. I do. I love Vaughn. I do. How you doing, Vaughn? Thank you for coming out and supporting the show, man. I gotta jab him. Corey Hager, absolutely. Always here. We got a new guy. I haven't seen this guy in the chat before. His name Kasiki.
What is it?
I don't know. He must be an African. Because OBASWQ, he's at the top, right? At the 8:34 mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, him. What's up, brother? Thanks for coming out. You're gonna have to cam up and tell me how to pronounce that name, man. I mean, that's new. Tommy B, what's up? Get them likes up ASAP. Thank you, Tommy B. That's right, Tommy B. Get at him. We ain't signing. Shut up. We ain't signing. Gramps. You're my age. Also, we ain't signing. Okay, we're the same age, so I'm not old. Boss Lady Iris, thank you for coming out. Man, Wayne Son is a good dude. I love that guy. Poppy Blanco in house. Thank you. Thank you very much. Bernard, brother Bernard. Also, everybody, check out. You can check Poppy Blanco over at his own channel and also at the Gray Pill Podcast. If you haven't gone over to the Gray Pill Podcast, you're missing out. Fantastic content over there, for real. That's one of my favorite channels on all of YouTube, for real. Poppy Blanco, his joint's coming up. It's up and coming. He's growing fast. Poppy Blanco is hilarious. All right, that's my guy. He is. Brother Bernard, Brother Bernard. Everyone, check out Bernard S's channel, Facts and the Uncomfortable Truth with Bernard S. Check out his YouTube channel. He's just started. Let's go over there and show him some support. We got ourselves monetized. Sir Hill got monetized. Now we're monetized. We got to get Brother Bernard monetized as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's his first video on point. He's off to a real strong start. Everybody, please go over there and show him some support. We have Sir Hill Speaks in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, this conversation just took a turn.
Hey yo.
Yeah, Sir Hill, you're not the only one who can do it. Okay, shout out to Sir Hill. Go over if you haven't checked out Sir Hill's content over on Sir Hill Speaks Network. First of all, shame on you. Second, thank you for the $9.99 donation, Sir Hill Speaks. It's about time. Yes, we're a month. I would have chose a different song for that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the perfect one too. No, I'm thinking for the look. I got the perfect song in my mind. I'm going to talk to Black Man about that. I got the perfect song in my head too. Oh my God, it's going to be hilarious. Real Erica, y'all funny. Hey, Real Erica, how you doing?
Real quick, I just want to say we excited. He said we the same age, but your hairline ain't. Yo, I'm so done.
You see that? You hear this? You hear they ain't treat me. You know, friends like this, right? Brianna E, thank you for coming out and showing us support. Hello to you. The Real Erica. Okay, that's everyone so far. And one more time for my girl Jenny Morena.
Yeah.
Jenny Morena's been with me from day one. Okay. Mm-hmm. She's my day one. So I gotta support her. It's me, C. No, you did not show up. Good evening, Mandrell. I enjoyed you on Women's Panel last night. Miss C, I didn't even know Miss C watched our content. I didn't know that.
Oh wow. Well, thank you, Miss C.
Yeah, Miss C. I met Miss C. I met her on Fight Club. I was at Fight Club a few weeks ago. Oh, wow. And talked to Miss C. Yeah, lovely woman though.
Oh wow.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, lovely woman. Loved our conversation. She's in Fight Club a lot more than I am though. I don't know how she takes it every week.
Right.
Every week, Miss C. You're a trooper. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
All right. Tonight's show is going to be a mixed bag. Okay. It's going to be a mixed bag. All right. Now, you know the title of this show, but do you know what this show is about?
You telling me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody else here. I'm not talking to myself.
Yes, I know what it's about.
I'm not that crazy. No, you don't, actually.
Well, I mean, all I do know is we were having a conversation and we were talking about what this week's topic was going to be. You mentioned to me where you were it was a conversation you had with Sir Hill and we ain't signing, and you brought up the fact that you said that Black men are an endangered species. And I was like, well, why don't we discuss that?
Right.
Because Hugh actually did a documentary on that. He kind of intertwined with some of his stand-up, but he like for real went and tried to get the Black male put on the endangered species list.
Why ain't put Black women on the endangered species list? And there goes the argument. Poof. And there goes the support. Poof. And yet again,
what you mean?
We never get anywhere. We never went. See, when people do that, the whataboutisms, because people who are viewing this show are gonna say that. Yeah, they're gonna say that. You know what I mean? So as soon as you do that, I mean, the whataboutism, there goes the conversation. It goes nowhere, and that's why. I mean, that's why we never get anywhere. We never grow as a race. Do you realize that our population has dipped?
Since the last census?
Well, here's the thing. It's grown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But
like
you do realize that
margin.
do you know that the last time, well, at what point in time in American history do you think that our population was at its height?
At its highest.
At what point in time, any time in history? 1600s, 1800s, 1700s, 2000s, 90s, 80s?
No, I would say maybe like maybe in the 90s.
You think it was at its height in the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh.
We got a boom.
Fascinating. Actually, it's 1790. Yeah, the year 1790. We're at 19.3%. And we dropped in 1800 to 18.9, 1850, 15.7, then 11.6, 10.7, 9.9. You get the picture? 9.7. And we had a little bump in the 1940s, 9.8. 1950s, we're 10%. 1960, 10.5. And here comes the climb. The climb started in 1950, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went from 10 to 10.5, 1960. 1970, we're 11.1. 1980, we're 11.7. The 90s, 12.1.
Mm-hmm.
2000, 12.3. 2010, 13. 2020, 12.4.
Mm-hmm. So
now we're at 13.4. We're nothing. Like we're nobody. White people are at 76.3%.
mm-hmm. So yeah, so I mean, when you talk about an endangered species, you're talking about something that there are very few of, and it is at risk of extinction.
It's at risk. It's not really the numbers. So, here's how it works. Mm-hmm. They go by like some of the criteria or one of any in the criteria. If you are fit in the category of even one of them, you are considered an endangered species. Now, are Black men an endangered species to women? Black women?
I don't know. I guess you could. You could say so.
You could say so. Why?
Yeah, because I mean, Black women, we outnumber y'all by like how much of a margin? I think they said like over 2 million. And which means that the whole conversation as far as like being feminine and all this other stuff, that means that it doesn't matter how feminine you are, how great of a woman you are, 2 million Black women ain't gonna get a Black man. That's just point blank.
That's if every Black man in America
lined up, got locked up with a Black woman, 2 million ain't gonna have one. So, I mean, what's the solution to that? Dating outside our race, or what is it? What's the solution to that?
Oh, and some of y'all are just gonna be out.
Yeah,
some of you, everybody doesn't get one. You know what I mean? That's the issue. And the thing is, I've told you about a lot of my dating experiences, right? And I came to the conclusion that Black women just, for the most part, not all of them, but for the most part, they're not built for marriage, or they simply don't want one. They don't want to be married. You know what I mean? But then again, our population is crap. And then we are actually under attack. Now, according to the UICN, an endangered species is one that meets any one of the following criteria: a 50 to 70% population decrease over 10 years, a total geographic area less than 5,000 kilometers. That's 3,106 miles, by the way. A population size less than 2,500 adults. A restricted population of 250 adults, or a... What now?
I'm sorry. Bud was like, it's because they're all divested.
I told you we ain't talking to Bud today. I told you we're not talking to Bud today. or let's see, a statistical a statistical prediction that it will go extinct within the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? Here's the thing with that one, that last one. No one's done the statistics. No one's gathered that kind of data.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can date out. Listen, we ain't signing.
Right.
Listen is if an area. If you are a good man, you get a second woman.
Really?
Hey, that's not a bad thing. You know, this whole polygamy thing, I'm not with it personally. I don't want to be in a polygamous marriage or no relationship.
Right.
But there's 2 million.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to get these population numbers up.
Yeah, we do.
Why don't we try that?
Right.
And that's actually a very accurate.
Black man, he said
that's actually very accurate.
One black man to every 17 black women.
Yes, it is.
And then I know, what was it? I was just looking up something. They were saying that when you look at the U.S. population of black people in total, there's 88 black women to every 100 black women. Every 8 black men to every 100 black women.
You're right.
There is a significant margin.
There is. Now, the one is if a species' environment is under threat, then you fit in the endangered species. If that habitat is under threat, then you fit in the endangered species category, right? Because that species lives in this habitat, and that habitat is dying, which means that species won't be able to survive once the habitat's gone.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I think the number one, a lot of people say it's diet. It's a combination of a lot of things. Diet, yeah, but pollution is another one.
Dale had a question. Is Planned Parenthood a help or hindrance to the growth of the black community?
It depends on what you're going to Planned Parenthood for. Planned Parenthood offers a lot of different services, Sir Hill. You're going to have to be much more specific. They offer education. They offer birth control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They offer a whole lot of things. So I'm assuming he's talking about the deletion of the babies.
Right.
Does that help? It depends. Some of you retarded fuckers don't need to be out here. So I mean, they might be doing us a favor in that sense, but it's not something that I would choose for myself. You know what I'm saying? Deleting a baby. You know what I mean? I wouldn't choose that for myself. However, I think that's another person's prerogative, especially if you catch it early enough. If you catch it before the heart beats or there's a brain that forms, then it's just a pile of goo.
Right.
It's not a life form. You know what I mean? So what do you think? Is Planned Parenthood helping or hindering the growth of the black family?
I don't think it's hindering. It's just pretty much like an option for people who are in situations where they really just aren't ready, equipped, whether it be like, financially or, just they don't want to bring a child into a situation like a situation where like the parents are together or it's just a toxic situation altogether, like parents can't get along. So it's different reasons why a person would choose to not bring life into this world. So I mean, I don't think that it's part of the hindrance because that's not the priority. One of the priority issues or causes of why black women outnumber black men so much.
Right. Okay. So Corey Hagan says 40% of Planned Parenthood reside in the black community. Yes, that's because that's something that America has grown accustomed to because they used to use abortion clinics for purposes of making black women sterile. They delete the babies and sterilize the black woman. This country has been attacking black people for a long, long time, like purposefully doing messed up stuff to black people. They even do it to this day with how they pollute the areas that we live in. Now, I bring up pollution. I'm going to bring up this a lot tonight. Okay, a lot. The vast majority of my notes are on that, and it's because I'm going to preface it with this. I say that black women are deleting themselves and don't know it. They are destroying the black community. They are destroying the black family. They're ostracizing the men, so they're not protected. They're raising weak men, and they have been doing so for generations now. Raising weak men, so those weak men don't know how to protect a black woman. They don't know how to be a husband. They don't know how to serve their wife and and raise a family,
Mm-hmm.
right? A woman doesn't know how to serve a husband and be a wife,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And like I said, I bring up the pollution because a lot of these single parent households, right?
Mm-hmm.
They grew up in lower income houses, neighborhoods and homes, right? The vast majority of them, because y'all out here, sisters, y'all getting money, you ain't getting it like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the numbers that people on YouTube pretend that it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in an article in the Washington Post, it says that African Americans are exposed to 38% more polluted air than white Americans, and 75% more likely to live in communities that border plants or factories. Even when you control for income, now here's the thing: even when you control for income, right? The average Black American earns the average Black American earning $200,000 per annum are exposed to more air pollution than a white American earning only $25,000 per annum. By the way, for all you people who don't know, per annum means per year.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So a black person making 200 grand consumes more air pollution than a white man earning 25,000.
Yeah, I mean, so are you saying like there are still systematic structures in place to keep us in certain areas?
Oh, for certain. There is this thing called red. See, once upon a time, then the white man came up with this thing called redlining. Corey, your brethren, Corey Hager, your brethren came up with this thing called redlining. Okay, and in this practice, they would redraw the map of districts and counties and everything like that. And see, back in the day, African Americans they would apply for loans, even though they can afford a house in a white neighborhood. Banks wouldn't give them loans if they plan to buy a home in that white neighborhood or even close to the white neighborhood. They'll say, okay, we can't give you a loan for that place, but we can give you a loan for a house over here in this area.
Right. Yeah.
That's how they kept segregation going after segregation became illegal.
And that's why they don't want critical race theory in schools, because critical race theory teaches about that.
That's right. That's right. Redlining is still effective in
realtors are listing for homes from Black Americans. They do.
Yes, they do. And realtors have been caught red-handed given different appraisals depending on what color the person, the resident of the home they think it is, right? So that's why, like, you're like, okay, like, I'm glad I got white friends. So when I decide to sell my house, I'm gonna go to Mark and say, hey man, let me get pictures of you and Christy and just post the stuff all over the house.
Right.
So the realtor comes in, they think a white person lives there, they will appraise the house for more. But they found out a black family, this affects even rich African Americans. So my thing is, with all this going on, I mean, for another example, African Americans are three times more likely to die of exposure to pollution than the overall population. Salute, Suzette Speaks. How you doing? Thank you for coming out.
Hey,
this is my sister, Shamaria, my real sister. Yes, my real sister.
Oh Lord.
No one believes it for some reason. I don't get it. How, you two are related? Yes, we're related.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Like I said, like I said before, an African American making $200,000 consumes more air pollution than a white person who only makes $25,000 dollars a year. Okay.
Right.
Now, take Dixon, Tennessee, a community of over 95% white and only 5% black. Right. This city put all the landfills only in the areas where the black population live, meaning the black population lived there, and they just used redlining and rezoned that area for industrial use, right? And they actually rezoned it for that, knowing that these people live there. One landfill out there leaked a whole bunch of TCE into the water and the water wells.
Oh yeah.
And then that community, and it caused a big mass problem, like an outbreak of cancer.
Right. Yeah.
Right. The community
Air pollution.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the reasons why Black men are endangered.
That's one of the reasons, yeah.
Environment, right?
And
So what's the other reason why Black men are endangered?
Oh, mass incarceration. Did you know that public companies have gone to states and offered to buy their prisons, and the state sold it to them with the deal? And part of the deal is, if I buy this prison, you have to keep it 90% full, 90, not 80, 90% full. Yeah. And the state said, sure, no problem. And there have been judges who have been caught red-handed selling people on trial up the river to these prisons.
Yeah.
Right. So with all this stuff we got to deal with.
About that, where they were just like throwing people in prison, like
throwing people for a long time.
With their charges, where it was like it could be something so small, so simple, but they were throwing them in there because it's real estate for the most part. I mean, because just like if someone invests in commercial property or like in a subdivision or something like that, they're trying to get a certain amount of. Because are we talking? Was it chemtrails?
Yes. No, we're not talking chemtrails.
Nah. But what I was saying, like with the real estate, like they have to get a certain amount of capacity, and that's what they're doing with the prisons.
I ain't dealing with you tonight, Corey Hagen. Corey said Newports.
So mass incarceration. Okay, so mass incarceration.
Yeah.
Environmental factors.
Environmental factors. Yep.
Redlining, pushing Black men.
Yeah. Yep.
So and I know this is going to probably get on people's skin, but do Black men are Black men doing anything to keep themselves here or to pass legacy on, and meaning like health wise? Are they taking care of themselves?
Yes, we work out.
That's a factor.
Yes, we work out, and we're making more money these days. We're the ones growing, not you all. No, my question is, so like I said, take the West Calumet Home Complex in Indiana, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was built on top of a former lead smelter. Now the safe levels are supposed to be 400 parts per million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, after an independent inspection, they discovered that the levels range between 1,200 and 90,000 parts per million. And the government was fully aware of this and told no one.
I'm sorry.
Are you trying to say that people only smoke Newports? I don't appreciate it. Black joke.
Well, Newports.
Blackports, really?
Black community.
Yeah. Now here's the thing: when you got stuff like this, because this is a housing project, and a lot of single family homes are in housing projects, right? Or state funded housing facilities, you know. So you're dealing with all this. Why are Black women running away from men? And when they find good men, why do they push them away, or they keep themselves away? They stiff arm them. They keep away from that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now you have Black men out there who don't want to date out. Mm-hmm. We largely don't want to date out. We want Black women. Mm-hmm. And what Black women don't understand is when you see a brother with a woman of another race, most times, 9 times out of 10, he settled for her. See, we settle for them.
Right.
But we want you.
Right. Okay, so hey Genesis. I'm sorry. So you're saying, okay, I'm sorry. So Black men, okay, the ones who would date out, they settle for Black women?
For white women.
For white women?
Yeah, mostly. Most of the time.
Okay. So that's part of why Black men are in danger.
Yeah, we were dating out. You don't want us. So are you? And look at the environmental factors here. Look at what we got to deal with.
Right. So
we die before y'all.
That is That is very
Right,
true.
right,
That's very
and
apparent.
right, and
So
you hold up.
I could agree that I from the perspective of a Black man being considered endangered or a dying breed, because you have more Black men now who are childless, and you have more Black men who are saying that they're giving up on relationships, or like I don't know, or maybe I need to go overseas somewhere and find somebody,
The
and that's
passport
tragic.
bros.
There has been a complete dismemberment, I guess you could say dismembership or dismemberment of
Dismemberment.
dismemberment. You know what I mean, of the Black community, of the Black family, which is tragic. The nuclear family is now a very like small margin. It's not what it once was, and I mean the rate at which Black men are being murdered and taken away from us via mass incarceration, via at the hands of the police, via at the hands of our own people, in our own communities, and via just just everyday tragedies or life. There's no. I think it sounds like that all of that is happening much faster than the Black men that are being brought into this world, and it's sad. So, and then on top of that, I saw a comment. Somebody said something about you have a YouTuber out here who's talking about not bringing Black boys into this world at all, eliminating them, and that is absolutely insane, preposterous, and whoever that is, she needs to be ashamed of herself to say something like that, and that's a Black woman who got a Black father. And it just sounds to me like for someone to be able to say that, maybe you had an absentee father, and the Black men in your life you needed to show up for you did not. And then let's talk about that. The Black fathers who the trickle down effect, the Black fathers who aren't in the home via I guess you could say toxic circumstances, like they can't get along with the mother, or they are taken away prematurely. That has a drastic effect. So yeah.
You're right.
Else too, like as far as like economic opportunities, even when Black men, even for the Black men who didn't go to college, there was one point in time where like you still had trade programs for Black men who and you could make really good money in those trades, like electricians, plumbers, all of them, they make good money. A lot of those they used to have those kind of offer those kind of training programs like in high school, and they took that out.
Right.
So it's just the gradual stripping away of the vital tools that once made us strong at one point are just constantly being stripped away from us.
Gotcha. Here's my thing. I largely think that when it comes to raising boys, Black women have no fucking clue what they're doing. Like no clue at all. I think they have no clue what they're doing. Because listen to the things that they say. And raising, the problems that women have today, I'm talking about today, they're not new problems. It's just more of them.
Right.
From my observation, it's because Black women have largely selected to be single mothers. Because I've met women where, I've heard women tell their daughters what to do in order to like control their man and stuff like that. The old adage, like, okay, if you want your man to control, you want to control your man, then you put something in his food. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I've heard
what you guys do once a month. Yeah, you put that in his food and it'll control him or whatever.
Oh no,
yeah,
I like putting like black magic and voodoo and
stuff like I've heard silly stuff like that. I've heard, and also Black women, I've seen them force the father out of the child's life. Like, okay, you give me X amount of. The guy comes, it's his weekend to see his child. He comes to see the child. She plays games. No, because I'm taking him somewhere else. Well, my thing is, no, that's that guy's weekend to have the kid. You're already not together, so let the man spend as much time with the kid as he possibly can. These women aren't thinking about the kid's future and what kind of man he's going to grow up to be. She thinks that he'll be fine because she has him, you know?
Yeah, trade me
Okay, yeah. Shout out to Corey Hager.
Right.
But no, and like I said, there are issues on both sides. Now, when it comes to the men, I do attribute a lot of that. You got some men out there who say, no, it's the fathers. The father should be in their life. Father should be in their life. But I attribute a lot of that fault to the mothers, because a lot of times the mothers don't want the father to be in the life just out of spite. She might be hurt or upset that the father doesn't want to be with her anymore. He's found a new lover and he's happy. You know what I'm saying? And she's upset with that. And so she keeps the kids away from him as much as she can. And when you do that, that scars the kid too, because they oftentimes do it in front of the child. And this happens far more often than we realize.
Right.
You know, there's a lot more of this going on, and they don't even tell their girlfriends about it. And when the ones that do tell their girlfriends about it, their girlfriends are bigging them up. Yeah, girl, that's all right. You know, F him and this, that, and the other. You know, he don't want to act right and this, that, and but meanwhile, the only thing he has to do with the woman is pay his child support and come pick up his child twice a month.
Well, that all goes back to the dismemberment of the Black family, the nuclear family.
Right.
Because all this single motherhood, this single parenthood, I'm talking about like outside of one parent is may have passed on. Like it's
right.
Not even situations like that. It's more of situations where either the parents couldn't get along, or with the unfortunate thing is this whole idea of the normalization of single parent.
Yeah, it's normal now. And now let me get to my point.
And that's not that's like it's tragic, like I said, because children need both parents, and not just that, like with boys and girls need both parents. They need their fathers in their lives.
Yes, they do. Hey, look,
a lot of that, is attributed to the fact that I just can't help but say, Black men aren't really respected like that. And
right, they're not respected. And the reason why I attributed this to Black women is because women, it has been proven now. We have the evidence. We have the facts and evidence now. Black women, not just Black women, just women, period, of all races. Women raise weak men. They do. They have no idea how to raise a boy to be a man. And men raise masculine women. I mean, because if a woman's around a man all the time, what kind of characteristics do you think she's going to pick up?
That's true.
Masculine ones. She's around masculinity all the time. So that little girl is going to grow up to be, as one girl that I was talking to briefly told me, she's going to grow up to be a real ass nigga.
Right. I'm sorry.
I mean, a woman telling me that, a woman saying that, I'm like, wow. Suzette, if you're still out there in the audience, sweetie, yes, a woman told me that. She was a real she said that. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, women raise weak men, and men are supposed to be the leaders, the patriarchs, the tip of the spear, as it were, right? Okay. So when women raising weak men, feminine men all in their feelings, don't know how to manage them, don't know how to properly sequester them, and compartmentalize. You learn compartmentalization from a man. You can't learn that from a woman. We feel like me. I feel, and I compartmentalize. Hold on. I compartmentalize very well. I can compartmentalize my feelings so that it doesn't affect my work, like what I'm supposed to be focused on, right? So you got these weak men out here, generations of them now, so much so to the point where these women raise so many of them that it's very, very difficult for a woman to find a stand-up guy nowadays.
Yeah, that's so true.
You know what I'm saying? It is. It is very. My daughter, look at Corey Hagan. My daughter is rough. She hung around me and mechanic on a truck. Yes. See, she's gonna pick up masculine features. You know, just like a boy growing up around women all day, he's gonna grow up. You know,
picking up feminine mannerisms.
Yes, he's gonna grow up picking up feminine mannerisms, and women don't like that. Women don't want feminine men. You know, so the good guys, the stand-up guys, the masculine men, and masculinity has to be properly managed and implemented as well. You can't come at a woman, you know, or you better do what I say. You have to do what I say when I say, and that's it.
Right.
No, like when guys, and I think a lot of women misunderstand that when men talk about masculinity, because a lot of men don't misunderstand it. They misunderstand it. You know what I'm saying? They don't know this. For example, what masculinity is, here's an example of masculinity, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say a man should stay on his purpose and a woman should get on board with a man's program. Here's what that means, okay? I'm going to translate it for you.
Mm-hmm.
I own a business, right?
Right.
And I have to do certain things in order to keep the machine running, which is a business, right? Now, if a woman, I meet a woman, I love her to death, we're hanging out and having fun, we're enjoying each other, but she asked me to do something that's going to steer me away from that job when like I have to do quarterly reports or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. She takes me something to ask me to do something that's going to make me late on the quarterly reports. Mm-hmm. I have to say no.
Right.
I have to do this because this is crucial. This is for the business, and the business is responsible for our livelihood.
Right.
So that's when guys have to learn to say no when the woman's asking them to do something that goes against their purpose. You know, which is their purpose, which is their job, their income, and so they can provide for their family. Right. You know, these guys don't know that. They're afraid to hurt the woman's feelings. They're afraid of the woman leaving. Mm-hmm. Well, as a man, you can't be afraid of the woman leaving because she's a human being, and human beings have their own mind, and women are fickle creatures by nature. Right. You could be here women could be unhappy for a very long time and never say a word. And then you say, well, I should give you clues. I gave you clues. No, but you didn't tell. But this is how men and women are different. Yeah, but you didn't tell me. Men need to be told these things largely. Not every time.
Yeah, y'all do.
Largely, we need to be told these things.
Here's the thing, too. If you know the breakdown of like of communication, 7% of what only 7% of what you say is verbal. I think it's like 36 or 37% is tone, and then like 55% is body language. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times when a woman has an issue with you, it's all attitude. That's why when people are like, "Oh, why, you know, so angry, so upset," she or why they got attitudes, because she's angry. She got a lot on her shoulders. She dealing with a lot.
Right. And the thing is but here's the thing, as men, masculine men, provider males, masculine men, provider males, alpha males, all of the strong men, just a strong man in general, take a basic strong man who's going to do what he's got to do, right, to provide for his family.
Right.
A real man, there are going to be a lot of times where he's going to ignore your attitude.
Right.
Because he has to. He can't get wrapped up in his feelings about that, because it's going to distract him. And he's going to, and let's face it, men do some wild stuff for women, for a woman's love. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Most of us have made some boneheaded, myself included. I've made some boneheaded plays for a woman.
Right.
But the thing is, I've learned from them.
Mm-hmm.
Won't be making those mistakes again, ladies.
Right. Yeah.
No. So you're going to have to, and then every woman I've ever dated, you know what they told me? When I say this, I was like, nah, we're not doing that. I don't like to be told no. You know what I tell them these days?
Yeah.
You need to get used to it.
Yeah.
But women don't like to be told no. And there's a contrast. Mm-hmm. When it comes to they actually meet a man that they want and need, they don't know what that is. Mm-hmm. So we are becoming extinct, because now men see that, and we're being repelled by black women. Black women will repel us. So we have no choice but to date out more and more and more. That's why we're seeing so many other biracial couples and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And see, since we're divesting, and then you got this whole movement now on YouTube with these guys thinking that it's the grass sweeter on the other side. I'm a passport bro. I'm gonna go to another country. Well, you're not running away from problems, dude. You just run. They don't realize they're just running into other ones.
Right.
Those are just different problems because it's still a woman.
Well, part of it too, like the last census when I looked it up, we were at 12.4%, like as a population, and then with this most recent one, it just came out in 2020, we only went up to 12.6. That's a 0.2%.
So we're a low population already.
So yeah, and so like I said, you put that speaks volumes. It says that there isn't we aren't increasing or at a very high or fast rate, because in 10 years your population only grew by 0.2%. There's a serious issue there
over 10 years. So that's another category.
That's a serious issue.
That's another category that we fit into the endangered species list, because Black men are now making biracial families. Because Black men still want to have a family,
right?
By and large, we do, right? Mm-hmm. And so the evidence is clear that Black men are making the adjustments. We're making adjustments. Now, here's the thing: Black women still, even professional Black women, they meet stand-up dudes and they tell them crazy shit like, "You should go date a white woman." When I asked that question, you guys on the panel last night, you have any idea how many people? I got phone calls.
It's two different things I want to address.
Wait, hold on. Just give me a second.
When you go into that,
give me a second. I got phone calls right after that, and these guys are thanking me. Thank you, thank you for asking that question. And that's why I said last night that, listen, you ladies, and I thank the panel, ladies, you have no idea how many guys you just helped, because you guys did. That's the first time these guys ever heard women be honest about it. And that's all guys are looking for, really. Like, we're trying to understand, what is this? Why are you pushing us away? And then when you get us, when you have us, and we want to be there, but you just start crazy stuff just to start an argument and force us to leave, make the environment so uncomfortable that we have to leave.
Well, in terms of like with the topic of the show, Black men being endangered species, honestly, I think the lower numbers are lower than that, because if you take into consideration the number of biracial babies and what they
consider Black, but they're not really
more,
Black.
More than likely they're going to consider themselves Black. Because and this has been proven too, like the Black side of their family is more likely to accept them than the white side.
Now you and I have seen that in person.
You
and I both have actually seen that happen.
Right.
Where our family accept the children. We don't even notice. Like you look at us, we don't even notice that that the kid's biracial. But the other side.
Right. I'm gonna address that big bad bull too. I'm gonna address that.
What a big bad bull say. I sure wish she would speak up and be more
Hello, can I please? I told you it was two issues I wanted to address with that. I said the numbers could also be lower. Because when you talking about someone who is like, just have two Black parents, I think the number is lower because there are more biracial children biracial people who identify as Black, who don't have two Black mothers and fathers. So the numbers are lower than that in that perspective. Also, when you were talking about last night on the panel, women who go for guys who the Pookies and Ray Rays, so to speak, a lot of times with that, I mentioned to you this before. Mary J. Blige came out with a song called "Mr. Wrong." That was the name of the song, "Mr. Wrong," and the part of the hook was she said the bad boys ain't no good, and the good boys ain't no fun. So that's part of it. And even with that, a young event Zantbar brought a point too one time. She was saying that, because I used to watch her show a lot, and she was saying that, even when we do things that are detrimental to us, they serve some purpose. So a lot of that, like picking the wrong guys or going for the wrong guys, there's some kind of allure there, and there's something about them that is attractive. Whether it be, they might be the bad boys, like, because one thing every woman wants is to feel safe, and they want security. Specifically financial security. Every woman wants financial security. That's no secret. And every woman wants to feel safe. And for some women, how safety or like protection manifests itself is like, this bad guy, tough guy. It means, okay, if anything happens, anything pops off, I know he can protect me, he can handle it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because you can say it's a what's the word I'm looking for? It's one of those not disillusions, but it's just it's a warped sense of what like real protection is, so to speak. But hold on, what big bad bull at? He's
bring up Big Bad Bull's comment.
Yeah, again. He said, I sure wish Shushu would speak up and be more specific as to whether she agrees it is all mostly Black women's fault versus Black man, as her brother Mandrell claims.
And
I would say later. This: the fallout, I still say, is on both sides. It's not one-sided. It's both sides. It is, and where that destruction really came in, because like when the crack era came in, and when Black men were thrown in jail at such a high rate, and Black women were left out here to survive on our own, to fend for ourselves. Also, when the introduction of welfare came into play, if our man isn't there, or he's not showing up, or he's strung out on drugs, I'm left here to handle all the responsibility myself. And the government has a program that can help ease some of this tension, the financial tension that I'm not getting, the support I'm not getting from my man. Yeah, I'm gonna take it. That's called survival. I mean, that's a basic human instinct, survival. So yeah. And then on top of that, like, I give it to the Black men. When Black men do try and get on their feet, yeah, there's resentment there now, because I'm left here by myself to do this all on my own, and yeah, there's resentment.
Yeah,
so
there is resentment.
My thing is, so my whole message is this: there is like deep hurt on both sides that neither one wants to let go. And when you're talking about trying to let go of pain, and I said this last night too on the other panel, I said, the problem is now, let's say we all decide to call a truce and say, all right, we're going to let all the past go, and we're going to try and get this together again. Two factors that are still going to come into play, that are still going to be a hindrance in us coming together, is going to be fear and mistrust. Fear that, all right, if I let go and I put my trust in this again, the first time I see an inkling of the past, or like any kind of possible return of the person that, or that they once were, all right, now the wall goes back up. And that is where the real issue is: fear and mistrust. We fear trust in one another. That's the big thing. So you can't put all the blame on one side, because it's both. It is both. You said yes, shoot, yes, reach, baby girl.
You know what, Big Bad Bull?
But you know what?
Hey, wait. If you had not given me that Big Bad Bull is the first one to donate to our show.
Oh,
okay.
Nice. Yeah.
He was the first one ever.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, to donate to our show. Thank you for that. I wanted to take this time to say, Big Bad Bull, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We are very, very, very grateful for that. For the for he sent us a cash out. Thank you, Big Bad Bull. We appreciate that.
Oh, it's so dope.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just want to take the time to say that. I disagree with you, Big Bad Bull. Shut up. Okay. Big Bad Bull. Yes, I'll agree with my sister. It is both people's fault. What I'm talking about is impact. Which one had the larger impact? Now, it's true. Everything you say is true. The welfare system, if a man could not be in the house and a woman could still get welfare. Mm-hmm. Couldn't. It wasn't allowed. That's why you had the whole thing where agents were following women around at grocery stores and at parks and stuff to make sure they weren't meeting up with a man and staking out the house to make sure men didn't go in there, stuff like that. But the government also pumped millions at that time into job programs for Black men, right? Specifically for minority men, and so when these men got these jobs, union jobs, longshoremen, factory work, things of that nature, right? And they were getting good incomes. So that's where I saw the correlation with that and that gradual increase from the 60s, because people were getting together and stuff like that. You had Black families popping up. Mm-hmm. But then at the same time, you had a lot of women pumping out, choosing to be single mothers because they got that check from the government. And they're like, well, I don't need a man if I'm getting this. And that was the attitude. And now here's what happened. These weak men that these women produce, they were having babies by Keisha, Jamila, Tawana, Wanda, and everybody else. Like they have like 8 different kids with 8 different women, or 12 kids from 6 women. You know those guys, right? We heard these guys, right? They have multiple kids by multiple different women, producing more children, and then leaving these women jaded. Right. That's why the population grew like that, and it's wild because these kids aren't being taught anything. Right. So that's why I say that the part I agree. There's blame on both sides. Yeah. Both sides are guilty. Mm-hmm. However, the part that had the biggest impact is the absence of the Black father. And now the reason why I don't put that all on the Black man is because he had to fight a war on 2 fronts. Mm-hmm. First is fighting the war of the government and the system. He was fighting that tooth and nail. Then when the government turned his woman against him, stabbed in the back where he's most vulnerable. And that's the part we need you to have. We need you to have our back. Mm-hmm. And that's what started it all. And so now we have a population where little girls are being taught to be independent, and you don't need a man and stuff like that. You can wait until later to start a family. You don't need a man, things like that. Mm-hmm. And boys are not taught to be husbands.
Well, there are messages that are getting misconstrued. There isn't anything wrong with a woman being independent or being able or capable of being able to take care of herself, because, and I said this last night too, there is a certain solace or peace that you have in yourself, knowing that if all else fails, I can take care of myself because, I can do it. I'm going to be all right. But you still need companionship because that's a basic human need. So the whole mantra of I don't need a man really needs to stop, because you do need companionship. That's a basic need. We all need each other. Like, we weren't put here alone, and nature is about balance. So you do need that. So
I agree. Like I say, the biggest impact is when Black women, because I say that because Black women are still doing it. The girls from generation to generation to generation are teaching their kids now of this generation independence. Nothing wrong with that, but they're not teaching them to cooperate with men. They're not teaching them to be wives, and they're not teaching their boys to be husbands. They're not teaching their boys to cooperate with women. This is something that's still going on. Like I said, which then floods the pool with shit and leaving very small pockets of clean water. Right? Well, meaning good men. So are we going extinct because this is being taught from generation to generation? It is, and we're being phased, and good men are being phased out.
That's true. That is very true.
Ultimately that's my point. We're being phased out.
We are
making us in danger. Would you chill out, Scam? Like, we'll get to you.
Say what?
We'll get to you later. Keep the organ. Did you ever? I got you. Now, okay. All right. I would like to hear if you have something, a rebuttal to that. Go ahead. And after that, we're gonna get We Ain't Signing, then Mel, then my boy Scam Likely.
Um,
How do
yeah.
I was
Hold
first,
on,
wasn't
Luke
I?
Hazley. Hold on. We got to get to the super chat first. I said you first. We ain't signing. Hold on.
Yeah,
Luke
he said
Hazley
you.
says, yeah. Luke Hazley and hola, Luke Hazley. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the $10 super chat. What are 3 possible solutions to this issue? Maybe start with baby steps first, then change the last 3 generations of dysfunction would be the best methodology. Baby. Okay, look, I'm mad at that one still. That was crazy. The one-legged dude, that was crazy. That was. Well, thank you, Luke Hazley. Thank you for supporting the show.
Thank
I don't know
you.
if you've been here, but this is the first show with my sister joining me as co-host. She's gonna be
Did I mic too?
yeah, she's gonna be my permanent co-host now. So look forward to that. But go ahead. You have something to say.
All right, salute to Gramps. Hello, Shushu. How are you? Yeah, I'm sorry, but your brother has harassed me for over a month. I was called Chinese. I was called not black. So he deserves this for a month.
Well, you are Chinese. You are Chinese.
whatever, nigga.
Black man
But
doing
anyway.
in China anyway. What you doing? Learning kung fu?
Hey yo.
Stop the man. Stop the man. Is Bruce Leroy.
All right. See.
All right, go ahead.
See? All right, Gramps. So anyway, y'all should check out his hairline. That's all I'm gonna say. So first and foremost, I want to say that with all due respect, Shushu, I have to disagree that it's both our faults. Unfortunately, it's just not. Like when we talk about incarceration, right? 34% were incarcerated. Black men were incarcerated during the crack epidemic, right? So that means 66% were not incarcerated, right? So black women have always had the option to be a black woman had always had the option to be with a black man, right? And and when we look at the numbers now, right? The largest growing middle class are black men. There are more college educated boys going to college than going to jail or being incarcerated, right? We are improving year after year, 5 years, 10 years, decade after decade. So like we getting our stuff together, and we have always had our stuff together. And you have to remember, I was born 10 years after Jim Crow. So it's not like it was a long time ago. You know, we as a people, right? When you have things like that, it's going to take time. It's going to take time to get stable. So I'm saying all that to say this: I really don't see how it can be a black man's fault when you saw on CNN where they did 60 Minutes back in the day. 60 Minutes would interview black girls, teenage mothers in the Bronx, and it would say, I don't need a husband. I don't need a man. I can raise him by myself, right? We saw that on 60 Minutes. We see it in social media. I don't need a man. You know, I can raise a boy or a girl by myself. And to be honest, majority of women in the black community, 60%, if you ask them the question, do you need a father to raise a child? Most will say no. It will be a nice luxury, but it's not a necessity, right? Most 60% will agree with that, right?
Yeah.
So if you have these systemic bias towards black men, how can it possibly be both of our fault?
Well, it's like that. I'm sorry to interrupt. It's like that because when you look at people who are in the lower socioeconomic realm, they have been affected more than the middle class, because I have yet to hear a middle class woman be like, let me take that back.
Stop.
Because middle class women do say that, but
I was about to say the same thing.
But it's for a different reason, though. It's for a different reason. And that was mentioned. A lot of it's for different reasons. So for this lower socioeconomic and lower socioeconomic realm, when the father is not in the home for whatever reason, there are multiple factors or reasons why the men weren't there. It creates a bitterness, because you're there left on your own. And so what ends up happening out of that bitterness, you have the mother who is passing on to her daughter, you don't need a man to do this. I can do this. I don't need him. I can survive for my own. I can support myself. And then for the women who are in the middle class, they say that for a different reason. Their reason is this, because I came up under this generation that was pushed to go to school and get an education. And that was never with the intention of us thinking that we were better than our men. It was so that we could qualify for better paying jobs and we could bring more money into the household. Because the bottom line is, if you put your money together, you can do so much more. You can go so much further.
Absolutely.
What happened is, as a result of that, rather than women bringing the money home and putting the money together, they were still expecting men to cover everything. Because the ideology that the man is the provider.
So how is this both our faults? Because sorry to interrupt, but look, you got scammed to your left, who's a doctor, who's a legit doctor. You got your brother, middle class, served in the armed forces, traveled the world, right? I live abroad, middle class or better. So let's talk about middle class black men, because that is the viewership of Black Man Unfiltered. So are you saying Black middle class men of our ilk or better, it's our fault also, because we got education and we didn't weaponize it against you? Oh, not let me. Black men got education and did not weaponize it against Black women. Black women weaponized it, because even on the panel yesterday, you guys said that you guys out excel Black men, and that's just simply not true. That's simply not true. You got two men right now that resumes that will stand up. You got two men, your brother and Scam, who's a doctor, whose resume will outshine everyone on the panel yesterday. So how can
you have women on the panel too whose resumes?
I'm not a doctor. I'm a Dusty.
You're what?
I'm not a doctor. I'm a Dusty.
He's not a Dusty. Don't let him fool you. That dude does not make Dusty money.
As a legit doctor, you got two men whose resumes both would outshine every woman on the panel. But yet women will say we outshine. These two men have never said that. They have never said they outshine or have been better than a Black woman. You see the difference? So that's why I'm finding it hard to comprehend, because I don't want to be contentious. But I just and I'll shut up after this. I find it hard to comprehend how it's both people's fault, because when we get education and accomplishments, we add value to the team. But it seems that Black women will get accomplishments and weaponize it against a Black man, and then turn around and say it's both our problems. It's at the middle class level. Let's just stick there. So I'm just finding it hard to comprehend that, and I'll be quiet. So thank you.
All right, now before you respond, get your thoughts together and keep them there. Let's go to this super chat. Plus, I want to get back to Luke Caseley's super chat, because she brought up a very, very good question. Jedi Mike says, "Great show, Mandrell. Hey, Soror."
Hey, Frank, go Mom.
Thank you very much for the $5 super chat, Jedi Mike. Okay. Yes. That's ridiculous. By the way, I just said that's crazy. Okay, your rebuttal.
All right. So we ain't signing, and I don't know. Maybe it's the men's circle that you hang around that hasn't said that, but when you are dealing with men who are in the middle class and then who are educated, they're a whole different animal too. Because what ends up happening is they may not be a Pookie and Ray Ray by far, but at the same time, they tend to think that they're better than you. They have a mentality like that. Or, where are they? What's the expression? High value men tend to exercise options. They may not be high value, but they still feel like they can exercise options too. So what ends up happening is you a lot of times you end up an option for a lot of men in that
category.
middle class category. Yeah. And
Gotcha.
there is this I'm better than you, then you need to service me type of attitude. I'm sorry. I mean, you may not want to believe it. And you may not want to believe it, but just like there are a lot of things about Black women I don't want to believe. I trust me, a lot of this I want to scream at the top of my lungs, like, no, it's a lie. It's not true. But if my brother is saying it and all these Black men are saying it, then everybody ain't lying.
Right.
So I mean, that's just what that. That's
I'm
just
just gonna say okay. I'm just gonna say okay, and I'm walking away. Walking away. Okay.
What are the three possible solutions to this issue? What do you think, Shamaria?
To what the Black men being
extinct because we're being phased out.
No, definitely. Like we need to start repopulating. That definitely needs to happen.
But we're populating, but at the same time, we need the family. And Black women don't want the family. I'm convinced that I've experienced enough, and I know it's only anecdotal, and I've heard enough from friends, colleagues, associates, people on the panels like this one, people on Fight Club. Well, Fight Club is ridiculous, so we won't even count that. But I've heard enough from people. Yeah, Scam knows about Fight Club. He's in there all the time. But anyway, I've heard enough. I've gathered enough intel to be convinced that Black women, by and large, don't want marriage. They want the sex. They want the occasional companionship. They want the sex. They don't want the commitment, though. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be led by a
lot
man.
of that is because a lot of Black women see marriage as a form of control, and in a certain sense oppression. But like I said, it's very few people have seen what a successful marriage or functional marriage looks like. Because I know people who grew up in 2-parent households, but their parents weren't in a functional marriage. And so and the examples that are set for us are imperative, because it does shape your perspective. And like I said, because so many like marriage was the norm for me and my brother growing up. But when I grew up and I got out into the world and I realized it actually, like, we were actually in a minority group, because most people came up in single parent households. So I'm like, the perspective on marriage is different. A lot of people don't see the value in marriage anymore. And most women, they do look at marriage as, it's just oppressive. And it's tragic.
So Shushu, sorry, I have to ask this question. I'm sorry. No, I'm gonna be quiet. I'll just remember me in the final comments, Mandrell. I'll be.
I got you. We ain't signed.
Let me tell you, you can ask. I'm not using this thing. You can ask.
Because it's Scam's turn. It's Scam's turn.
Yeah, so he's gonna go later. Yeah,
it's his turn.
Oh man! Every time we talk about this fictional place called the Black community, where these Black women are supposed to be supporting and holding down their Black men, it always starts with, oh, the white man, oh, we're victims. Are you strong and independent? Are you holding it down, or are you a victim? You got to pick one.
No, it's what you don't understand is it's a mentality that has been passed along. That's the point. It's a mentality that's been passed along. It's not like women just woke up one day, or I don't need you no more. It's a whole mentality that's been taught and passed along.
From generation to generation.
Like I still believe in marriage. I do. And I still look to get married one day. You got a lot of women out here who don't.
We're aware. They're getting it's the same thing. They go meet Tyrone McJenkins on the block on Monday. They get stuck on Tuesday. They get Ubered back to the streets on Wednesday. Thursday, he sends a text message. It's not you, it's me. The next week, it's the same cycle until eventually 2-3 kids pop out, and then ain't no good man. They're all alternative lifestyle or in a jail. Why is it getting to the point where somebody else can repeat the same things word for word? The same things. But there's a solution. We've been so broken and we've been victimized because of the white man. So hear me out. The white man is keeping me down. The white man.
He took him down.
Yeah. Can I say something? Because I do think that there's a aspect of here that men do gloss over or just tend not to address at all. Let's not pretend that no. Let's not pretend that men have not been socialized to sow their royal oats. Let's not pretend like men have not been socialized to do that. I can specifically remember, when growing up, when my parents had a conversation about sex with my brother, it was, oh, yeah, make sure you use a condom. If you ain't got none, just let us know. We'll buy you some. But when it came time for me to have that conversation, oh, wait till marriage. Don't give it up to him. Then I'm like, wait a minute, that ain't the same conversation you had with him.
But that's the only thing they ever said.
And then on top of that, we do tend to condition women to be more sexually reserved or conservative, which is the whole hoopla of women nowadays coming out of woodworks talking about having a real.
You want to know why? I want to answer that. You want to know why they had those two different talks with you and your brother, the sex talk? Mm-hmm. We always say in these spaces all the time, women are the gatekeepers of sex, men are the gatekeepers of commitment. Mm-hmm. Your brother had to work twice as hard to even get sexual attraction towards a woman and stuff. Mm-hmm. Woman can always get it so easy than he does, like a split of a second. But the most valuable thing you can hold on to is your virginity and stuff. If you want the highest caliber man, that's what she was trying to tell you. You want the most highest caliber man of value. That way, you got to hold on to your pure virginity as much as you can. Yeah.
But man,
I hear you on that. But now here's the problem with so many men. Now we want to have a conversation about deep discipline. Because you have so many men running around here, like it's like men are coined to, it's okay for y'all to go out and get it and run up and do it. And something I wondered too, I was like, okay, well, if he's okay and free to do it, then what does that say about the women who giving it up?
Shoo.
This from another point of view, do you think there's a large percentage of men that's going around getting laid like that also too?
You're talking about a talk that was had. Oh, hold the precious vagina. Keep it to.
No. That's not just with me.
Let him finish.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But we're talking about 2 out of 3 women are baby mamas floating around here. So I guess they weren't listening to the talk.
You got that.
Or they Christian. Because let's not pretend like in Christian religion, like that is not taught, that women are supposed to be sexually reserved and disciplined.
But here's the thing. Here's why.
What do you mean it wasn't?
Hold on a second, fellas. I got a response for this one.
Mandrell, you saying it wasn't taught in the church?
Here's the thing. It was taught in the church.
No, women were taught to be
reserved.
They tend to shy away from that with men.
Because I was the one who taught it, sir. I taught it in the church to you.
Okay. He had to take. Scale likely had to take a time out. He had to step out for a second and see now he's back. But here's the thing. Over the generations, and Luke Casely, we can't come up with 3 possible solutions to this issue because the thing is,
Mandrell, there were solutions.
There are solutions. The thing is, there are solutions to it. Hold on, there are solutions to it, Luke Casely. It's just there's going to be a lot. We need a lot more than 3 because there's a lot more than 3 issues that yielded this result. But for me,
each must get 3 of each. So it'd be 3, 6.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you know what, Luke Case, this is brilliant. We'll save that super chat for our final thoughts. 3 solutions to the problem.
I got 3.
Yeah.
When you ready?
Well, it ain't final thoughts yet, Skip. Like you gotta wait a few more minutes, okay? All right. I know you locked, cocked, and ready to go, man. Okay, you locked and loaded. You got it. Oh, but the pushback is that over the generations, okay, men have largely left the church because it became this geared towards just women, and prosperity gospel, and men smell the BS.
Mm-hmm.
We smell it. So we're like, yeah, I can't be a part of this nonsense. This dude ain't preaching the word. You know what I'm saying? So now girls aren't being taught the prosperity, the virginity talk. They're not taught that. You see it all the time in the social media and on television. You know, women are hypersexualized. They wear next to nothing. Like, I was going to use your Instagram as an example to someone. You know, when I saw one person's Instagram, I'm like, okay, look at this Instagram. Okay, look at she was asking me, help her out with the pictures. I was going to point to yours and say, you see this one? Talk about yours.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell a lot about this person just off their Instagram. It says her, but it's not sexual.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Women want to feel sexy, and they feel like walking around in, you know, skimpy outfits. That's the thing to do. But the problem is they're attracting the wrong attention. But when they get attention from men, they're like, hey, this guy thinks I'm sexy. So they lay with him. They lay with the wrong men. That's bottom line. And they're not taught to be virgins anymore. And this has been going on for generations. Again, girls have been taught to be independent. You don't need a man. So there's no reason to hold on to your virginity because you don't need to fish for a man. Mm-hmm. You want to get a man, he's a temporary thing. Use him as a disposable pleasure.
I want to ask something else also too, and everything. It's actually a secret with us men, and I get to what women's listening to also too. Most of us, despite you might feel like we want to soar our oats, there's a difference between wanting to feel like we desired sexual by a lot of women than actually exploring our sexual desires with every woman. You kind of understand what I mean. It is you got that one dude who will look at a couple, and you ever seen that couple where the woman is like highly speaking of a man, like with so high regards, like he's the ish and everything, girlfriends and everything. Most men want that sexual desire by the woman he wants. He wants that even by his one woman, even by his wife. Most men will not actually get that type of feeling from their own woman and stuff. And that's the biggest problem right there. Is like, yo, that some men don't want a lot of women like that because there's a responsibility factor to that also too. But they want to at least feel like he desired like a god to they, you know what I'm saying, by his own woman at home, despite he's going out taking care of his family responsibly and everything. The way he's supposed to.
And understand this also.
Right? And I agree with you in terms of I think men should be complimented, or and you should make a man feel special too, because it's the same thing as with women. We always like, oh, make me feel special, tell me I'm beautiful. Men want to feel the same way. Men want to feel special, and you, as you should. I mean, a woman should want to do that for her man, and that's something else I wanted to kind of debunk. What's her name? Candid Ann brought it up last night when she was saying that women need to stroke a man's ego. But the problem is, and which I agree with, because I understand what she means when she says that. But most women hear something else when you use that term, stroke his ego. Most, right? It's the same way. What I'm saying is this: certain terms get lost in translation. And because they've been associated with something negative. So a lot of times when you say
it's negative, they know what it is. They just don't want to do the work. That's the whole plain thing about it. Just like when you hear the word submission and stuff towards a man, that doesn't mean kiss the man's behind. No, you're releasing your power, so you let him take over what needs to be done. He still will listen to your advice, but he will make the final say. So he'll take what you suggest to him and formulate the final plan. So the plan, you know what I'm saying, will come together and stuff like that. Right. That's what a competent leader is supposed to do and stuff. You see, when women get submission, they think we, bowing down, kissing behind your low level, all that stuff. They got a misconception of women in the 1950s and everything. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, it's right. Now, Jenny Moreno says that chastity is a long lost factor. And I agree wholeheartedly with Jenny Moreno. Not only is she the #1 moderator in all of YouTube, no shot and shade to other ones. There are some fantastic moderators in the chat. #1 being Lou Casely. I love Lou Casey, by the way. I do. I do. I love Jenny Moreno as well. You know, that's
my girl, Jenny.
Like I said, Jenny Moreno is my day one. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm always gonna be like, I agree with that. Chastity is a long lost factor. Okay, and it is because again, look at these chicks' Instagrams. They throw it out there, and they get the wrong attention, and then they think that's a good attention.
And now this is where I can say that falls back on y'all too. Why you looking at it then? Why you giving her attention?
Because we're supposed to. What are you talking about?
Because we're supposed to. No, if you wanna stop a problem, that's how you stop it. Stop giving
no.
I believe they're going to do what they want to do. I believe they made that
going to do what they want to do.
Okay, let me tell you this.
Listen, let me tell you something. Like, prostitution is one of the oldest professions for a reason.
Yeah,
because there's a market for it. If there was no market for it, then it wouldn't be a business. Any kind of business that is successful is because there's a market for it, and they've been able to tap into that market. If you don't,
this isn't a community effort. This is not a community effort.
Hold on. Shoo. You cannot equate sex with how a man has sex and how a woman has sex. We're different people. The burden and responsibility and the danger that you have as a woman having sex is not the same as with a man. I cannot get pregnant. You can. I can walk away from a child. It's when some women find that harder to do. We can walk away from children too. But you're missing my point. You're missing my point.
No, bro.
Yeah, you're missing the point. The point is that sex for women and men are different, right? Because you can get stuck holding the bag where the man cannot. It's true.
That's not true. And I'm gonna tell you why. Why? I used to think that too. But here's the thing: a lot of times when women get so attached, like, you know what I'm saying, this whole fantasy type of, oh my God, it's because she's been sold this dream of finding her husband, her Prince Charming. So yeah, she sleeps with this dude because she think that, oh, she is gonna keep him. You got different type of women. So that you talking about that kind of woman who puts her emotions into it. But you have a lot of women, especially these newfound modern women y'all talking about, ruthless, honey. They can sleep with a few different men at a time.
Yeah, but you're missing my point.
And then on top of that, when you say men can walk away, and that's true, they can. But I'm talking about and not for nothing. And it's sad, but the law supports. I mean, the women have more of the law on their side if they want to give up a child.
Yeah, absolutely. But the point is, the pregnancy itself, changing your body itself, the risk of deletion. Right? There's things that your body go through, and there's more danger by being promiscuous than a man, right? Because let's say they have no problem going to family planning, right? But there's still medical risks there, right? There's always going to be more risk associated with premarital sex with a woman than a man, regardless of relationships. Even if you could do birth control, right? There's a change in your body, right? Black women report more high blood pressure from getting on that. Plan B, right? You still have to alter or do something to your body if you run the risk of getting pregnant, right? There's more danger. That's just biological point. It's regardless of feelings. Right? There's just more danger. And the biggest danger is birthing a child without a father, because we know 40% of people, black boys who are in prison come from a single mother household. There is just more risk. That's why through history, patriarch societies have always governed the woman's womb, because they understood that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and I'll leave it at that.
Right now they're trying to stop abortion, right? Okay. But
they're not actually stop. It's not going to be on a federal level. It's going to leave it to the state level. So they can still get abortions. They got to be in the state that's actually legalizing it. No, that actually allow it.
Man,
and if they want to get it, they can still cross over to another state.
Yeah,
get it.
Gotcha. Okay, fellas, we gotta move on.
Let's be real.
Right, that's true. Now let's see, Papi Blanco, you there? Hola.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
¿Cómo está?
Bien, man. I'm trying to speak Spanish, man. You're one of us.
Sí, no hablo si no tú puedes.
Okay.
How's everybody doing tonight?
All right.
Está
All right.
bien.
All right. Now listen, muy bien, Papi. Speak your piece. Then we're gonna go to Tommy B.
Diles.
I believe that I think everybody missing the point because it's I mean we always it seems like we having these conversations every day, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's not gonna lead to anything because in my humble opinion, I believe the wrong crowd is listening. Meaning if we want results in trying to face the black community or whatever, people need to make a better we need to make a better job of kind of including the women from 18 all the way to like 32 33 around that area, because those are the women that actually count. When I say they count, is they are the ones that are getting pregnant. They are the ones that need to be kind of thought about how to become a wife, something like that, how to work with the black man, stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is I travel a lot. I be outside a lot, so I'm in touch with a lot of people, man. And I'm gonna keep it 100, man. When we talk about shifting blame and stuff like that, you in life is winners and losers, man. And in this case, women is the one that are losing for the simple fact that we got rules like my body, my choice. No problem. You are 100% in control of your body. You also got to take the blame in the other end when you like end up having this baby, end up being baby mamas and stuff like that. And it just for the main reason, one of the main reasons I find out, I've been saying this for years too, is that women, especially black women, they really don't want a relationship, bro. They don't. They just want to be able to have the ability or sleep with as many guys as they want to. That's one thing I find out. That's why they be having these high body counts and stuff like that, because every month they seem to like a different guy. That's why you find women with 2, 3, 4 baby daddies, because usually, you know, they meet Tyrone this weekend. They end up having sex with Tyrone, but next month they're pregnant, they turn around and they like somebody else the next month or 4 months down the road. So they want to be able to have the ability to mess with as many guys as they want to. I know it sounds rough, but that's the truth, yo. And this doesn't apply to every black woman, of course, but the majority, that's how they get down. I know them, and it really don't matter what they do either, because I know strippers, escorts, nurses, lawyers, engineers. Guess what? They all think the same way. They all tell you the same exact thing. I dare everybody in this panel to go out into your local bar or something on a Friday night and just have a drink and sit down and just watch. All the girls, from the strippers and escorts all the way to the professional girl, to the 9-to-5 girls, they all talk the same, they all dress the same, they all got the same blonde, purple, or green wig with the 18-inch nails and all of that. But at the end of the day, the reason why these women act like this is because, man, they know that it's always a sucker that's gonna save them at the end. It don't matter if they got 2, 3 kids. It's always a sucker willing to save them, and that's why they always be acting reckless like this. And that's why they would never try to settle with the man, yo, because they know when it's time to be like settled down at 35, 40, when they got high mileage, when they got a bunch of kids, it's always a need in the other end that will take them on, and that's why they will never change.
Well, to address a couple of different things with that you said, Poppy. Part of why so many women don't want relationships or nowadays, some of that is too, like when women back in the day didn't have as many opportunities as far as like job opportunities. So part of what anchored a woman in a relationship was financial security, because she didn't make enough money to survive on her own. And then on top of that, she did have to think about her kids. And I'm talking about, I'm not talking about like in the 80s and the 70s. I'm talking about like beforehand. Women, part of what anchored her in that relationship, and part of why a man wanted her daughter to marry off is so that he can pass her off to a man to take over protecting and providing for her. And providing.
I have to say, women, they have job opportunities. They chose certain jobs not to work in them.
No. Listen before you finish. Well, I'm talking about before we had all this access to like executive positions and all this stuff. I'm talking about when we were like cooks and the maids and stuff like that, when those were where we can only teach. And it has significance because a woman, that's part of what anchored her in a relationship, because she wasn't making enough money to survive on her own. You couldn't live off of that. But so she stayed for financial security. But what ended up happening is now that we do make enough money to survive on our own, provide for ourselves, you got a lot of women who do say, okay, well, I don't need a man for money. So now there has to be something deeper to anchor them there.
No.
Because finances isn't a reason to anchor her there.
That's why I'm be bugging back towards you. No, they did have job opportunities a lot. Women chose not to work certain jobs. That's the whole thing. And even when first wave feminists came in and they gave them choice and they gave them the right to vote, there was a trade-off for that also too. Now they had to sign up for selective service. And when they found out they didn't have to sign up for selective service to have the right to vote, it was like, nope. Because now they have to go fight in the wars forcefully like we did and stuff. So they had to work around that also too for them. Okay, we give you the right to vote, but you ain't have to selective service. Okay, there you go.
No, what I'm saying is, like I said, the purpose of this is because I've noticed the steady decline in quality men, and I noticed certain habits that women do, that women have, and that's why we're not with them. You know what I'm saying? And why we divest, and why there's so much frustration and vitriol. But you know, when it comes to good men, good solid men, like Scam Likely over there, he trolls a lot.
I'm a broke Dusty.
He claims he's a broke Dusty, but believe me, that ain't no broke Dusty sitting over there.
I'm a Dusty
at all. Okay,
you were right sitting over there. How right?
I live with my mama,
and he so doesn't. Right, so doesn't. But here's the thing: like I'm with him. I live below my means too, but like I said, it's not something done. And Luke Casey said something earlier. She said that good men are being. I said good men are being phased out, and she said good men are being phased out on purpose. Luke Casey said this in the comments. I don't know if it's on purpose or not. I would have loved for her to like clarify that, or either come up using an avatar or cam up if she'd like. I mean, to explain
I understand why she said that.
Yeah, to explain it, because that was a very, very good comment and very interesting way of looking at things. I mean, I would like to hear more on that, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to get
and a lot of the reason why I say it is the examples that have been set for you and the ideology and the mindset that has been set for you and it has been passed on is imperative, because I've had my heart broken. I've dated some whack dudes, but it didn't change my perspective of black men. It didn't make me say, oh, all black men are, F them and that stuff like that, because I have black men in my life who are good stand-up men.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, like, it doesn't make me say, oh, all black, boys or black babies need to be eliminated. I mean, that's insane to me, like I said. So a lot of the examples that you have in your life are imperative, and the mindset that is passed on to you is imperative.
Yeah, and the thing is,
you still want to be married though?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, it seemed like
that's the whole thing. I'm glad you don't see all men that way also too. I'm glad.
Right.
Now the next step, if you want to get married, what are you doing on your part to finally make that happen?
Well, for one, I'm starting to look beyond the dating pool that I was in, because that's made a difference. The caliber of guys are different.
Okay.
And also, I look at more now the kind of decisions that he makes, because if you talk about being a leader and you talking about being the head of household, then I have to trust that you make responsible and reasonable decisions. Because if I'm going to let go and trust that you are going to make the best choices for both of us or for the family, then I need to know that, okay, he makes practical decisions. He's responsible. He makes good choices. That's what I look at.
Another I want to add also too, because you mentioned earlier independency.
Mhm.
Get that out your mind. You're not independent when you're in a relationship, especially in a marriage. That word don't exist. You're no longer independent and stuff.
No. What I mean by independence is it's good.
No.
No.
What meaning you have?
This is the real
What
thing.
meaning you have?
I heard on it was another show I was watching.
No.
One mic, everybody.
Hear me out.
Hear out. Yeah.
There's a difference between being dependent and then being codependent. Like, I depend on my man to be the head of household. I depend on my man to be responsible. I depend on my man to be the protector. I depend on my man. You know what I mean? But to be codependent means that you are incapable of operating in without this person, and that's not a good thing, because let's say this man walk out the door and get hit by a bus tomorrow. It's tragic. It was unexpected. Now what do? I have no idea what to do because I am codependent on this man. My everything relied on him. That's not good. But I tell you what is, me knowing that, okay, yes, this happened. And yes, it hurts, but I can still carry on and move on with life. That's where independence is important.
Well, we're gonna do final thoughts, but I guess the production team had a different idea. I want to get everybody, but thank you for that. You did brilliantly for your first day. Okay.
Listen, and can I say this? Because Mandrell and I have conversations all the time, and he asks me questions. I don't have all the answers. I don't know all the answers, Sway. So, and even when some of the questions that Mandrell comes to me with, that some of the things that happened to him with, other Black women, I'm floored. I'm dumbfounded because some of it don't make sense to me. But, hey, listen, if any questions or any, perspectives you have, I will respond to the best of my ability. If I don't know, I don't know. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. It's like I said, the reason why I brought this up, because we are by definition becoming extinct, and it's because women over generations have bred so much trash into our ecosystem, trash men into our ecosystem, that the girls that they bred don't have much to pick from. And not only that, they're being taught the wrong outlook on life. You know what I'm saying? By the way, if anyone wants to join us for the after show, click the link, the StreamYard link, and wait for us to end the show. We'll end the show and just click the link, join the studio, and hold tight. You'll join us right after that. We'd love to hear perspectives. But yeah, now good men, we're being phased out because we see all these pimps, players, suave type dudes, out there, and they're getting, and these women, the good women, professional women, they're sleeping with them. We're like, why would she choose that? And so the thing is, good men, we grade women on that too. What kind of decisions do you make?
Right.
What kind of men is she picking? Right. Has she constantly been picking those guys, or is it a case where some women, where it's like they used to pick trash men because they didn't know any better, but now something happened, they learned, and now they make better choices when they pick men to date. Right. And so that's a look up. That's a good thing, When I look at it, okay, so she learns. She's willing to learn and overcome and make adjustments to improve her life. Right. We do look at that. Talk, what's going on? Thank you for the $10 super chat. Talk Williams, day trading extraordinaire, says shout out to your sis and the panel and the chat. Thank you, Talk Williams. Thank you for the $10 super chat, man. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Corey Hager. So that's my final thoughts. We are an endangered species now. Good men are going to become more and more rare as time goes on. We're already endangered. I mean, are you guys women going to fool around and make us extinct? Or are you going to cooperate with us? Help us raise kings and queens.
Well, there are good women out there.
Your final thoughts? There are good women out there, yeah.
But the problem is men have the same problem that women have. you're overlooking them. You're overshadowed. The good women are overshadowed by the ones who got everything hanging out on Instagram. Those are the ones that you run to. And then you want to sit up and be like, oh, see, all modern women. No, there are good women out here. And keep this in mind. If you only looking for one, then, I mean, that's all that matters. Like, forget all the relationships and the ones that didn't work, because all you're looking for is one. And remember, anything worth having is worth working for. If it came to you easy, you wouldn't appreciate it. If the woman you wanted came to you just like that, you wouldn't appreciate her.
I would.
No, you will only appreciate her now because you knew what it takes because of what you went through until you found her. That's the journey to get to her is what makes you appreciate her. But if she just walked right into your life and you didn't go through nothing, you wouldn't treat her like she was the way you should treat her. That's human nature.
Also, what you've been taught.
Part of that too. But it's part of human nature. We take things for granted. Things that we don't work for or that come too easy, we always take for granted.
Yeah, but there's no need to, if marriage is what you want, there's no need to ignore it once it finally comes your way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And that's largely what people do. Like men, they'll ignore good women because they don't want to be married. They'll say it. They'll say, I don't want to be married. The woman will still sleep with him anyway.
No, or they will drag her out until he is ready. He'll drag her out. Take her home, take her youth, all that, drag her out. And that's sad too.
Well, then he wasn't shit in the first place. He wasn't a good man. I'm talking about our black men.
No, it's called selfishness.
Whatever. No, he was a chump. He had a personality that wasn't worth more than 2 cents, and then you women fall for him anyway. It's amazing. It's amazing how women self-sabotage. It really is. Your creatures are one of a kind. You're absolutely singular. Nothing like you on the planet. You're the most beautiful human beings to ever sanctify the earth with imprint of his foot. Physically, you are. Physically, you're the most beautiful woman on the planet. Mm-hmm. What's going on between those ears? Who knows? It's the 4th of July. Boom, 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 boom. Some of you. And then the rest of you, well, the motor's running, but there's nobody really behind the wheel, if you get what I'm saying. Yeah, you've heard the stories of my days. I've talked to you about it. You said you're going to write a script based on my dating life.
I did.
It is just that wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you're gonna write a movie script based on my dating experiences. Because as soon as that speaks, find it skeptical. Some of the things I say when it comes to my dating experiences, but
I understand because I thought the same way too. But when you listen and you hear other guys saying similar stories, everybody ain't lying, and it's sad, but I mean everybody ain't lying, and I mean, like I said, I don't have all the answers, Sway, and a lot of guys are like, well, yeah, y'all need to talk to the other women. And listen, when you up against a belief, when someone believes something, the only way to change a belief is there has to be some kind of life-changing, life-altering event to happen in order to change a belief. Perspectives can be swayed. Perspectives can be changed. A belief is a belief is a belief. You ain't changing a belief.
Gotcha. Now, Lucchese, by the way, I'm sorry, Lucchese. I am pressed for time. I wanted to get back to your super chat and give you 3 possible solutions to the issue of good black men becoming extinct, and no one cares because no one does care. No one cares about us. So we go date, and to be honest, my weakness is Latin women. I do have a soft spot for Latin women. I mean, that's your competition, black women. Okay, I'm just saying. A beautiful Latina approached me. I mean, or I approach her, and we hit it off. Mm-hmm. Black women have lost another one, and I'm going to be happy. So that's our show this week, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. This is kind of this is actually how my sister and I talk to each other.
What kind of?
Yeah, it's more colorful language.
Well, right.
More colorful language usually.
Right.
But all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out. Join us next week. And we're out.